Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to talk about everything that's been going on in the news the last couple of days since we sort of fell off the last 3 days, right?
Yeah, not for lack of a good reason, but we'll probably share details of what we've been so busy with
Yeah,
here in the near future. You
yeah.
know,
So
but if you
yeah,
want to know, you could definitely follow our Twitter accounts.
yeah,
That's the best way to get information as far as like where we've been and what we've been up to. You know,
yeah. That's good. Yeah. So a lot's been happening, right? We've had Coinbase launch, we've had Bitcoin go crazy, and then just some interesting tidbits that have been going on in the crypto space, like Alien Worlds launching on Binance Liquidity Pool and doing like monster numbers. I'm talking about like heavy hitters, like blue chip numbers.
yeah, billions. We're talking
Yeah,
B's now. We're not
yeah,
in M territory anymore.
yeah. You know
Yeah,
what's
we're like these gaming products, right? Blockchain gaming. We've been talking about this for blockchain gaming, metaverse, all these, concepts that we've kind of been exploring,
yeah.
how they're getting realized, right? The market wants this stuff. There's demand for it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so first things up, Bitcoin. The one of the more interesting numbers I've been tracking is like the dominance of Bitcoin, and for man a good 2 to 3 years, it was at 70%, like hovering at 70% for a solid 2 to 3 years, and now all of a sudden it's at 52%.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Coin Market Cap, and there's a chart here called percentage of total market cap
Mm-hmm.
dominance, and we're starting to see the first major dip in Bitcoin, right? So this is another signal, right, for Bitcoin's like um, just path to destruction, right? Eventually, Bitcoin's dominance is going to go down just because altcoins are going to start capturing some of that value, and but yeah, this is the number to watch.
Yep, this is all expected too, man. If you guys have been following the channel for,
Yeah,
last year or so, this everything is kind of following the expected rhythm, just like clockwork,
yeah,
Bitcoin had its meteoric rise, Q4 of 2020. Q1 was largely like altcoin focused, right? I would say.
yeah,
So maybe this next quarter is going to be more blue chip focused, Ethereum, Bitcoin regaining its composure in the market as, the market leaders, right? They're blue chips for a reason,
yeah,
Part of, the last cycle's narrative was watching Bitcoin just siphon away all that liquidity away from the alts like regularly,
yeah,
like it happened so often. It was like in a very up and down roller coaster motion, right? Like you would know it if you're an altcoin investor because you could feel it. It's like, why are my bags constantly just getting
yeah,
sucked dry, right?
yeah,
And then all you got to do is look at the charts and see what Bitcoin's doing. It's taking all that liquidity.
yeah. So
So
we've reached an all-time high again for Bitcoin, 63. Actually went up to very close to 65,000. And so we're expecting another huge leg up here to towards 70,000 or somewhere close to it. And then it's just going to repeat like all the way till I guess we're going to talk about, some more solid predictions on Bitcoin. We've talked about in the past before, but like everything's coming true. Like that's the wild thing is like this has been predicted for a couple of years now and it's coming true.
yeah, show them your meme box, dude.
Oh yeah, so let me turn everything my crazy lines on, right? Let me zoom into our latest boxes here. Let me change it from the day to 4 hours so we get a little higher resolution. And this box ended up holding true. It just needed to be about twice as long,
Yeah,
you know.
damn. Almost a meme master you are.
Yeah, right.
Almost.
So yeah, I mean, it broke through. Of course, it could kind of retrace a little bit, but ultimately, if you're in it for the long haul, like none of this matters.
Yeah, but this is important what's happening now because it clearly is broken through like this very difficult to break through resistance point of around 60K, right? Like this is a pretty healthy confirmation, I
Yeah,
would think.
yeah. But you know what's
So
crazy is that when you're going through this in real time and you see Ethereum go to like $2,000 and then it just dumps to $1,300, it's
mhm.
like, man, is it really over or what's actually happening here?
Yeah, we made not necessarily claims, but we asked those questions,
Yeah,
right? I mean, because it's part of the experience, dude. It's just the human psychology, right? We panic
yeah,
when we see red, when we see green. Now we're about to do it again, like only up from here.
right, right, right.
This is the way of the nature of the game.
Yeah,
You know,
it's so crazy when you're like you have your money in the market and like you feel these emotions. It's just it's odd. Usually I'm like stone cold, like you
this is the
know,
only thing that gets you your
yeah.
Jimmy's Russells, huh? The only thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
there's a lot at stake, obviously, but yeah, I mean, you feel these downs, man. When they're going down, you feel them.
Oh yeah. If so, the trick to this game, if you want to become like an ultra pro crypto trader, is to void yourself of all these emotions, right?
Yeah,
Because whenever you actually act on these emotions is when you make terrible decisions. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
So, I mean, that comes with time and experience. So, all y'all who've been doing this for a few years, you're probably numb to it by now. Like these daily swings, weekly swings, whatever, it doesn't phase you anymore.
Yeah,
But to the noobs out there, I mean, dude, this
yeah.
is like
This is
gut
like,
stuff, you know?
yeah, you feel nauseated like every day.
Exactly.
Yeah, but check this out. We got to recall back to 2017. It hit an all-time high of like near $20,000, and then in 2 months, it loses almost like 70%. Like this is like something to
Yeah.
realize is that when we hit like 200 or 300 grand and then it starts losing like 50 to 60% in like a month, that's another signal, right?
Yeah, that even like the most seasoned of investors can't really stomach that kind of drop, right?
Yeah,
Like even those hurt
yeah,
like everybody. So
50% losses. I mean, come on.
yeah, so let's talk about what's going to happen to Bitcoin from here on out, because whenever Bitcoin was first making these first corrections of this market cycle, we were speculating
Yeah,
how long of a correction will this be. There was a couple of scenarios. Either it's going to be a very extended correction, which is what I thought would have been the more favorable scenario.
mm-hmm.
Basically, if it would have like hovered around this green line until at least mid-May or June, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah,
Because to me, that would indicate like a much more extended cycle.
sure.
So the fact that it's not doing that, it's more like scenario A, right? Where clearly Bitcoin is in this like unreal bullish momentum, right? It's almost unstoppable at this point. So
Yeah,
I think that kind of like falls in line with this whole super cycle theory that's been out there for
yeah,
the last year or so.
yeah, for sure.
I think this may be the beginning of that confirmation. So what
Yeah,
that means, what do you think?
yeah. So I mean, we've talked about him in the past before. Plan B, like he's done. I think in 2018 he did a stock to flow analysis where he compares the newly created bitcoins to its current stock of bitcoins, right? And then he
Yeah.
created this new model called stock to flow X, which is a cross model or a cross asset model, and where he compares Bitcoin with like larger assets like gold and the real estate. And if you look at this line here, right, he shows the different phases of Bitcoin transitioning from one phase to another, right? The first phase was a proof of concept, right? This light blue dot. Then the
Mm,
next phase is payments. Like, hey, maybe Bitcoin is used for payments, right?
mm,
And then it was like, wait a minute. We have the digital version of gold, right? It's not gold, but it's like gold, right? And then we have like a financial class asset, right? This is another cluster. And now we're forming another cluster and we're getting significantly close to the market cap of gold, which is around 10 trillion. And then the prediction here that he's making, which he posted in April 14th, which was yesterday. Yeah. He's predicting like eventually Bitcoin is going to reach that of real estate, which is $100 trillion market cap.
So he just added in a new line or
Yeah.
dot, I mean,
Yeah.
just to like
And then,
really, really get us going,
yeah. And
as if
then
gold wasn't enough.
so this would be probably happening like probably in the next two cycles, the real estate, 100 trillion. But of course, once we start reaching 100 trillion, then we're going to start looking into like I don't know if there's bigger assets than real estate. Probably
Just synthetic
synthetic
assets.
assets, which that doesn't really I don't know if that's going to apply with Bitcoin. But so what does $100 trillion market cap look like for Bitcoin? So assuming, rounding off errors, we got a trillion market cap right now, right?
Mhm.
So 100 times 63,000 is roughly $6 million Bitcoin.
Mm.
So if you subscribe to that prediction model, then $63,000 Bitcoin is a nothing burger.
Mm. I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, considering like the momentum track that we're in, it's it's I think, yeah, it's just this unstoppable force. And there's so much more outside of Bitcoin that's kind of reinforcing this narrative of like
Mm-hmm.
the crypto industry as a whole. Blockchain is like it's hitting this inflection point where like there's so many different applications for it now, as opposed to its previous history where it was only this like payments infrastructure thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like developers are finding whole new use cases all the time, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to become like that vision of like this ubiquitous application to blockchain is starting to become much more clear to the rest of the world, especially
Yeah.
these investors and like governments and big institutions are buying into it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got every
Absolutely.
celebrity on the planet making NFTs.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
like this is all a compounding collective, like a big narrative, right? That's going to push Bitcoin into this super cycle, and then the rest of the market with it. So I don't know, man. It's like I think about this all the time. Like, dude, like, like I think we're gonna hit this bull market that we can't even really fathom, today.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. I think we're gonna hit that price of Bitcoin where we look back to today and we see like a $60,000 Bitcoin and be like, man, that was actually a cheap Bitcoin.
Yeah,
And
not only that, but like that was a tame market. Like
yeah.
all the ridiculousness we've already seen. This is tame compared to what we're gonna see here the next 6 to 8 months or whatever.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Like you're gonna look back at this like, damn, dude, like that was the time to like catch your breath. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like 6 to 8 months from now, it's gonna be just pure madness. And I don't know what that looks like from like a multi-trillion-dollar scale.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like literally the whole world is participating in this madness.
Yeah. And I think it starts with the number 100,000. I think it's a psychological number, right? And once it breaches it, then people are just gonna like blindly FOMO in and not really know what they're doing.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean that was largely like the big breakout party for Bitcoin. I mean, once it hit 10K last cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's for some reason ones and zeros we understand as
Yeah.
a species better than all the other digits.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we break the $100,000 number, it's gonna click in everyone's head, and that's whenever we see that parabolic, rapid appreciation.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
So we'll see, man. It's very exciting for sure.
So yeah, I mean, going back to Plan B, it's just wild that we're able to predict stuff like this. And man, if you really break down the math, it just makes sense. That's so crazy to me. And then in other news, alien worlds. So this
We brought
just
this up just to make comparisons to Coinbase, right? That's another big thing that's been happening.
That's
Another
true.
narrative pusher. Coinbase
Yeah.
is now freaking mainstream finance. Like Coinbase is on Wall Street. That's a big deal.
Yeah. So the prediction was it a prediction or did they say that the relative price of each stock was like $250 and then it launched at 380, right? And then it pumped to $430 and then it just completely dumped from there.
Yeah, so like the market, I guess, overvalued it at first. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, we're not stonk investors here.
Yeah.
Haven't really tracked many like IPOs in my history,
Right.
but this is like the first one I really tracked. And I mean, this feels like any other like Binance Launchpad token. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Which is why we pulled up Alien World. It's like here's a recent like Binance project, like
Yeah.
same exact thing.
Yeah. Super pump and then a dump.
But a favorable dump, like dude, like
Yeah.
this is a good dump to have.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just like Coinbase. Coinbase dumped at $100 billion valuation or something like that, right?
Right. Right.
I'm happy if I'm Coinbase if that's my support level. 100 billion.
Yeah, and wasn't it Nas who made like $100 million off of this investment that he made into Coinbase? Like the rapper?
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He invested like in Lyft and all these companies. Now he's like worth $100 million.
Holy shit, that's badass.
Yeah.
I know Kevin Durant got in pretty early into like Coinbase's like investment rounds.
Damn, man.
That's fucking KD, dude. So he's crushing it now.
Yeah.
I wonder how much he invested. But I
Probably,
mean, Coinbase is one of those darlings. It's the darling of the space, right? Like they're going to be our Facebook.
yeah. Yeah,
this-
yeah, exactly. Dude, 100%. 100% right.
Coinbase is our poster boy now for the whole crypto industry.
Yeah.
Like, put them out there into like the cultural zeitgeist of like institutional finance, right? Like
That's right.
let them represent what we're doing here, right?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
what they do ultimately is it's easy to understand. it's a fucking exchange. Like, come on,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
that hard to understand. You go there to swap some tokens for some cash, and that's about it.
That's about it. Oh, to the tune of $1.4 billion in profits in one quarter.
In 1 quarter, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So the thing that they do very well, right? And
yeah,
they provide a critical service, so therefore justifying this insane valuation.
yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
it's a good indication in the sense that this is just there's no way like Coinbase is going to be the last company,
Oh, absolutely
publicly
not.
traded company. Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think Coinbase might be one of the fastest companies to $1 trillion valuation. Right, it's probably going to take like maybe 5 to 6 years for them to be valued at $1 trillion, and it took Apple and Microsoft like 40 years to do that, to do the same.
Yeah, I think it's largely like they don't have to do any really innovation, right? They just have to
Yeah,
they just have to wait for people to
exist.
want more Bitcoin,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you know, and they'll service that demand.
yeah.
That's their job at this point, right? And
Oh
there's a
man.
chart you have pulled up in there that like shows like Bitcoin's outperformed like all of tech or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I have it here. It was from Michael Saylor, or actually no, documenting Bitcoin, and he just
okay,
retweeted
cool.
it. But yeah,
Yeah, this is exactly what you just said. Bitcoin is, going to be the quickest, or it is the quickest to a trillion, right?
yeah, it's the quickest right now in 12 years. It took 12 years for Bitcoin by itself, no marketing, no nothing, to turn into $1 trillion. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, I think Coinbase is going to take a lot less to turn into $1 trillion.
Oh yeah. Well, but when does that clock start for Coinbase at their founding, right? Which
At
is
their
like
founding, yeah,
2013 or something like that, I think.
yeah,
So they're already 8 years in or something.
yeah.
So they got
They got
2 years, no,
4 years, 4 years.
4 years to do a 10x, and
Man,
they do it. The
can
clock
they
is
do it?
ticking.
Dang.
I don't know, but if you're a stock speculator, that's your job. Make that prediction.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Okay, well, that covers everything we wanted to talk about today. We'll probably get into Alien Worlds a little bit more. We didn't really talk about what they're doing, but they're a metaverse. It's pretty interesting. They're very comparable to Decentraland in a certain sense that they have land,
Mhm.
actually planets.
Mm.
But we'll probably talk about them soon. It's pretty interesting. But other than that, that's the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you comment. Let us know what you think about Coinbase. Let us know what you think about Alien Worlds. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner and also at MetaZone.io. And we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.